Hello, my name's Aydin Hutchison. If you are new to this channel, welcome. In this video, I'll give you a tour through my personal knowledge management system, Second Brain, using Tiago Forte's tried and tested method for organising information and offloading data out of your biological brain. It has taken me 3 months to come across the book Building a Second Brain. It's so insightful. I never thought that I could organise my notes in such a way. Before I begin, I want to thank you for taking the time to click on my video. 2 weeks into semester 1 of university, I was preparing to fly out to the US. I had to pack all my gear that week, including my personal belongings. This was followed by conducting intensive scouting and researching online to identify what locations I wanted to visit. By this time, stress and anxiety started to build up due to the various commitments I had going on at the time. Not helping me, I was also sitting for long periods of time in a non-ergonomic position. Little did I know that it started causing debilitating nerve pain. I quickly identified that it was my desk chair center column being far too short for my body to sit comfortably with my elbows at 90-degree angles and my hands resting above my keyboard. Once I finished studying, I picked up my bagpipes to practice, just like I do every day. However, this day was different. I could not lift my index finger for some reason while I was practicing. This started giving me alarm bells pretty quick. I needed a change. I stumbled on Building a Second Brain while watching various YouTubers such as Ali Abdal and Beatrice. Quickly I fell in love with reading the book. This was something I didn't know I needed, but I'm so lucky to have found out about it. Little did I know that it would solve a ton of my issues when it comes to remembering content. Making learning fun and enjoyable, which helped to offload information out of my biological brain and into a second brain instead, to allow more time with friends and family and look after my overall mental health. 3 questions I would consider when building your own second brain. Decide on what you want to learn. Organize based on importance and actionability. How can you summarize your content to the essence? Tiago talks about his personal challenges he faced during his time as a student with stress and chronic conditions that even doctors could not diagnose at the time. My issue was similar, but I was suffering from serious nerve pain, which was caused by stress and other external factors. I was tracking well at university. I found it hard to stop working, which contributed to my desire to search for a new approach to manage stress and anxiety. The book is based on evidence of combating information overload and managing all the content that is consumed by us each day. This can be done with a variety of methods, including paper journaling or digital tools such as Evernote, Notion, Apple Notes or Obsidian. Applications help you keep high-level tasks like studying for upcoming exams or assessments on time using the calendar dashboard within Notion. By adopting Tiago's approach, it led to several health factors, including a decrease in stress and anxiety and an increase in productivity and efficiency. Let's take an example of high-profile people such as Taylor Swift and Jeffrey Steinfeld. Both individuals write down ideas in a digital notebook or a paper notebook to help visualize their ideas wherever inspiration strikes. Writing down ideas is a good way to keep observations, insights and small nuggets. This helps to keep your brain free of unnecessary shit. Having a dedicated system allows for more control over your thoughts and organization while using the powerful search function in software such as Notion. Let's take an example. The great philosophers of our time, artists and intellectuals for centuries like Leonardo da Vinci and Virginia Woolf, recorded their ideas in a commonplace book. The practice of writing down one's thoughts and notes to help make sense of the world. Once my notes are gathered up and to-do lists captured, it's time to transform them from handwritten notes to digital ones so they can be searched, organized and synced across all devices, ready for viewing at a later date, instead of having tons of random notes written down on physical paper that can get lost. Now, with the power of digital, You know always now exactly where to look for information using the Command F function to search for particular information you have worked on before. More than half the workforce today can be considered knowledge workers of some kind, as knowledge is now considered the most valuable asset known to man. Let's begin looking at the code framework that Tiago talks about. Capture is the first element of code. This is where you isolate the main point within the text and think about what points resonate with you. I found that there were no limits to how much information I could consume in a day for a particular subject. It did, however, lead me to get very overwhelmed with content. So keeping a journal as a way of mind mapping and brain dumping ideas is a good way to get all the shit out of my head and down onto a physical notebook. Once done, I will transfer my handwritten notes to digital form using an app such as Drafts. The application comes in handy when your thoughts are lingering straight away, leaving you nowhere to go. I quickly learned that information management is critical in today's digital age, especially as a student who is constantly bombarded with large amounts of information per day. It's difficult to know how to manage it all. Information organization is of the utmost importance. It allows for the efficient and effective retrieval by examining and arranging it into well-organized topics and subheadings. For example, when creating a YouTube video, I begin by conducting market research on a specific video I would like to emulate. Okay, now let's move on. Distilling is the process of progressive summarization, where you break down the important nuggets into sentences. Tiago explains the idea behind progressive summarization as the essence, the heart and soul of the text. It's easy to look for patterns and connect the dots from snippets, which make it easier to break down and contextualize your information. Although it may take hundreds of pages and thousands of words to fully explain a complex insight, there is ways to convey the core message in just under 2 sentences. This is more than enough to change the way you think about how your notes are displayed and presented. I put my printed nuggets up on my wall so I can follow them. Express is the final stage of the framework. This is important because it's about putting what you have collected and researched into the world to receive feedback and provide value. Yes, people want to hear your good ideas. The question you have to ask yourself when sharing your ideas though is, what is the point of knowledge if it doesn't serve a purpose such as helping society? This is one of the key questions that you need to be clear on if you want to make a significant impact in your local community. It's pointless not to share your knowledge to the world, otherwise you become an information hoarder, which is okay, but it's much nicer to share it with others. Now what time is it? It's time to take action now. Let's move on to the final framework, para. The para method is broken down based on structure that focuses on keeping notes sorted instead of complex hierarchy of topics and subtopics. Projects are short-term efforts in your work that you're working on now. This could be something as simple as publishing a blog post, launching a crowdfunding campaign, or starting a YouTube channel. Areas consist of long responsibilities you want to manage over time, so in my case I would be updating my website and keeping a clear vision of my finances. Resources are elements that could be interesting in the future. It's a good idea to have a catch-all for anything that doesn't belong to a project or a specific area. For example, interests such as architecture, interior design, and learning, etc. Archives are inactive items from other 3 categories that are no longer relevant. For example, hobbies and lost interests. Archives play an important role down the track when uncovering your used notes. Now it's time to discuss which applications help me build my own second brain system. My favourites consist of Notion, Instapaper, and Apple Note. I use Notion on a day-to-day basis. It's by far my favourite productivity tool. Needless to say, Notion has played a significant role in managing my studies at university. I found it worked well to create detailed to-do lists and weekly planners to manage your time during each week. This just helps overcome task fatigue. I no longer needed to worry about any extra stress when it comes to consuming content. Instapaper is the second web-based provider that I use. Shout out to Ali Abdul for recommending Instapaper as a way to capture and keep snippets from books, articles or web pages. It played a critical role in my study workflow as well as my content creation research. It's much easier to document the link straight away without having to go back to your search history. Instapaper has a powerful highlighting feature useful for rounding up particular sources. It's a simple way to save, store and capture articles for reading offline or on the go. The power of this online tool helps sync all your chosen highlights from these resources to other note applications such as Obsidian, Roam Research, etc. Based on what you have highlighted from the text, you'll receive an email of all your highlights each day as a reminder. Apple Notes is the last app that I would like to talk about. It comes with all Apple products. It's perfect for creating folders using the Para framework. Notes is designed to help you quickly capture stray thoughts so you can remain focused on the task at hand. Well, thanks for your time. I hope this video was insightful for you. I hope you are able to pick up helpful strategies to build your own second brain. If you have any questions about how to build your second brain, please don't hesitate to get in contact or leave me a comment in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to respond. Now that's out of the way, it's time to get back to work.